Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Diversity is Lit Book Club. We will be discussing our September book of the month, House of Marionne by Elle, which has a beautiful, but for some of us falling apart cover.
Yes.
But really loved the inside jacket.
Yes.
That's what made me pre-order this
Yes,
book.
me too.
Because it was gorgeous.
The inside jacket, I was surprised. I was like, ooh, this is
Yeah. It was so pretty.
Beautiful. Yes. So if you haven't been here before, we are Diversity is Lit. We talk about one book by a BIPOC author every month. We vote on a poll either on Discord or in the Goodreads group and discuss it on my channel like we're doing today. So we will be talking spoilers. So if you're okay with that, feel free to keep watching. If not, close out so you don't get spoiled. Read the book and then come back and watch our discussion/review. But I will have my lovely co-hosts introduce themselves. Everyone is linked down below. If you don't know me, my name is Holly. I am the author of A Diamond Bright and Broken, which is a YA epic fantasy out in April 2nd, 2024. Really excited to be able to share my debut novel with everyone. It is fantasy, but I like to read in all genres, but mostly young adult and middle grade fantasy is my jam. But yeah, then we can go down the line.
Hi everyone, I'm Teresa Beasley. I write under the pen name T.A. Beasley, and I write young adult and adult thrillers. But I love all genres. The only thing I mainly don't read is poetry, but I love all genres other than that. And no erotic romance. But that stuff is a little too much for me.
Yeah,
But other than that, I read everything else. I'm also a podcaster at A Reader's Book Corner, where I interview indie books, discuss indie books and indie authors, and I'm happy to be here discussing this particular book.
Yay. You want to go, Vanessa?
Sure. I'm Vanessa Marie. On all my platforms, I'm a fantasy, paranormal, and horror writer, indie publisher, and diversity reader / editor. So, yeah, I am at Vanessa Marie Books on all my platforms. And I'm excited Alicia's here with us this time. So
Yes.
Get to talk.
Yes.
I'm here, but I'm probably only here for about half because I'm not quite done. So
Okay.
that's kind of how my life is going, unfortunately, right now. But I'm excited to be back.
Heather, you want to go?
Hi, yes. I am Heather Venkat, known as Write Heather Venkat on the internet. I am a YA fantasy and contemporary writer currently on hiatus, but I'm also in my car in between work shifts, so sorry if things look a little jank, and I'm just trying to get my headphones connected to the Bluetooth, so I'll be on mute for a little bit, otherwise you guys are going to hear the echo of everything, so I might be a little bit slow to respond.
No, you're fine. We hear you okay. Thanks for beasting between shifts. Appreciate it. And last but not least, Alicia.
Hello. So I'm writer Alicia Crumley on the interwebs. You might find me there in various places, and I am a poet and nonfiction self-care advocacy writer is usually kind of how I term those things, right? And YA fantasy, do a little bit of that too. And I am very glad to be here. And as upset as I am that I'm only about 75% of the way done, I'm just doing the best I can do. I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm working several different jobs right now. So it has kind of cut down on some of my reading time, unfortunately. But I'm kind of hitting it from both ways. I know we usually like to say how we consumed the book each time we read it, and I'm doing physical copy and audio. I'm listening to it through the library. So those are ways I am enjoying it so far, and I really like it. I mean, we like things by JL. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of generally in the club, we've done a lot of JL stuff, and yeah, I enjoy her writing style. So I'm excited to be here with you all.
Yay!
Yay!
And, we have Janine here. Hello. I know Janine read an arc of House of Marionne, and we had been talking actually in the Discord group about the book, and I had like barely started reading it when I started hearing people's opinions. So I'm excited to. I think we'll have a good discussion. As always, it's always good. But yeah, just a quick disclaimer: the trigger warnings for House of Marionne are death and murder, blood, violence, teen pregnancy mentioned, attempted drugging, kidnapping, missing persons, child abuse, family discord, societal peer pressure. I'm going to add gaslighting to that. And if anyone else thinks of anything else that was not on this list. Janine, I have things to say about this book. Sadly, not all of it is good. So that is something which makes me cry because I loved her previous books. So our first question is, what are your general overall thoughts on the book? What would you rate it, on Goodreads or otherwise? I do want to start with that because I loved her central attraction kissing. Because Janine was one of the first people that I saw her opinion of House of Marionne, and I saw some of the earlier reviews kind of coming in, a lot of people talking they were disappointed. So it was really hard for me to get started because I was trying to not let other people's opinions of the book like color my opinion of it. Definitely when I started it, it wasn't the way I thought the book was going to be like, but once I realized what it was like, I was interested in it and did really like it. I know one of the things, sorry about that. Okay. Does this need to be deleted there, Janine? I'm trying to, let me just, okay, sorry. I didn't know if that was a mistake. Okay, so one of the things that we were talking about in the Discord group is how JL was marketing House of Marionne as like Bridgerton, and I forget what other book she was comparing it to. Oh, sorry, it affected your feelings.
I think it was Get Out.
Book. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, Get Out, okay. Which I not really Get Out, but I feel like so she started comparing it to Fourth Wing and Bridgerton, which a couple people were saying didn't really feel like warranted, and it felt like JL was just kind of throwing big names in there, especially because Fourth Wing was so popular. I read Fourth Wing like June or July or something, and actually I was like, this Fourth Wing is a wonderful comp title for this book. It is very similar. The school setting, the competition, Jordan and Cal being from different, these different kind of houses, enemies to lovers kind of thing. So I felt it was very similar. Here we go. Fourth Wing, a spicy new adult book, which I felt had almost nothing to do with the book. Oh my God, sorry, my cats are playing. Besides the school and the love interest setup. So that's the thing, is that it's hard when you're comparing a book because people don't know what you're comparing it to. In all honesty, the spice in Fourth Wing, there's like 3 scenes and they're in the latter half of the book. So the majority of the book isn't spice. Probably what made it popular was the spice, but I feel like it is a warranted comp title. It's just what people are deciding is that JL's comparing it to. So people might think, ooh, there's going to be spice in here, and then be disappointed when really it's the school, the enemies to lovers, Cal honing her magic, this and that. Sorry, I don't mean to be on this for so long. But anyways, so I felt like they were great comp titles. And Bridgerton, I felt like also was a honest comp title as well. With the cotillion debuting, the dresses, the etiquette, all of that like felt very well deserved. And Cal trying to like honor and debut and do well to honor her family name, the House of Marionne. Shadow Daddy trope. very well, well warranted. But so I love JL's I love JL's writing. I know I did see some things about saying how like Jordan didn't really have much of a personality. So I feel like there were some things I'm like, maybe this could have been better. Maybe there were some parts that were like a little bit slow for me. But overall, I did really enjoy it. There were some like suspicions I had that then like did come true, but I felt like it wasn't more of like a, oh God, yeah, I predicted everything, but more of like, yeah, JL left good breadcrumbs, and there were some things that I still didn't expect. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. There's some things that I rate a 4 that I'm like, well, it's so close to a 5. Maybe it was a lower 4, just because there were some of the pacing things, and I was kind of confused with some of the names, and then the Yagrin's point of view and things I felt maybe could have been handled a little bit better, but I felt like overall I really enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to the sequel. So sorry, that was a very long my opinion of it, but I just word vomited everything. Okay, whoever wants to go next. Oh wait, also sorry, really quick. Also, I wanted to show. I threw this on this morning. My Blackpink hoodie, which is a K-pop group, but I also kept it because it is very fitting for House of Marionne with, Cal trying to, changing her diadem to pink, but then her Toshana is black for the evil magic. So I was like, Blackpink is actually very fitting. I'm going to leave this on.
I looked for my crown. I wanted to wear it, but I couldn't find it when I was looking for it. So I was like, I don't know where I put that thing. But because I was like, oh yeah, this would have been the perfect one. Which I will have to comment after if any of my predictions came true. Mm-hmm. As I'm done, because I know I have a little bit of a reputation here for predicting things. So I will go and comment later as I'll go and watch the replay and comment after I finish. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I feel like it was a little slow for me to get into, and I can't quite pinpoint why. It might be that it's the slow burn of the relationship between Cal and Jordan, because that is a very slow burn, and sometimes I like a slow burn sometimes, right? Like I don't dislike a slow burn, but I'm also over here going like, oh my God, could we hurry up please, like get to the good cute stuff. But I like, one of the things I've just like loved so much is all the diadems, like the description of everybody's diadem and how it's so different and how it's related to their magic and how they can do that. So I feel like that's something that JL is still doing really well, is the descriptive writing that she does. I feel like she does a great job with that. So I'm like at a, like, it's not a full thumbs up, but it's like a halfway thumbs up so far, because I feel like based on where I'm at, that's probably as good as I can figure at this point,
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah, but anybody else that wants to hop in, feel free.
Well, since I tend to be opposite of Alicia, I guess I'll jump in.
Might as well.
Because as far as the romance and the slow burn and stuff, I actually did not think it was slow burn enough. I'm like, anytime you end with the main character and love interest exchanging I love yous by the end of book 1 and they just met, I'm like, that reads insta love to me. And so I don't care for insta love. So so when I got the book and actually started reading it yesterday and then finished it this morning. But yeah, but when I got the book and the cover is gorgeous, the hardcover underneath the jacket was absolutely gorgeous, and I opened it up and there's all these information and details, and information about the different houses and stuff. And so I was going and thinking, oh, this is going to be good. And I started, and it was really interesting in the beginning. It drew me in the beginning when she's on the run with her mom, and then they have to split up, and then she ends up going to her grandma's and everything. And then kind of after that, once she's there and starting the induction and stuff, for me, things kind of slowed down, and like, especially when the romance was coming up more and more, I was just like, I'm not in the mood for romance right now.
Tell us what you really think.
Right.
I just was not in. I was excited when I thought it was going to be this epic YA fantasy, and then when it switched into more of the romance, I was like, okay, can we be done now? Can we skip to the end? So, I don't know.
It's that can we skip to the good part meme.
It's very good at the time. And I also didn't really care for Yagran's chapters. I kind of just skimmed through it. And even his final chapter with the reveal, I was just kind of like, okay.
But did anybody else listen to it on audio? Is anybody else listening? Okay. Yeah. So one of the things I thought that they did well, at least with the version I'm listening to that the library has, is that they do switch to a male vocal narrator for his points of view. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Some of the formatting things I think are really interesting choices. Like, remind me, there's something else I want to say about formatting after, before I leave. So you guys can talk spoilers, but.
Yeah, so I did, as I usually do, I had the audio and the physical.
Sure.
And then a quarter way towards the end, I was just listening to the audio. So like part 3, I think I just listened. No, part 4, I just listened to the audio and then picked up the physical again, back up for part 5. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with Janine in the sense that I was expecting more and kind of disappointed. And I hadn't heard about the comp title, so I wasn't expecting any, and I've never read fourth
Fourth Wing.
Fourth Wing.
So yeah, I haven't read that or seen Bridgerton or whatever, so I wasn't going into it with any comparison, but I did have a bit of higher expectations and was a little disappointed. So ended up giving it 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'll go because I kind of had some similar feelings to Vanessa. I haven't rated it yet on Goodreads, but I was like going back and forth between the 3 and the 4. I did enjoy it, but so I did end up listening to the audiobook, and I listened to it pretty quickly because I was waiting for a copy to be free at the library, and then kind of like I think I had like a week to listen to it, so I was like, perfect. But I did think the like audiobook narrators were well, like it that was well done. And again, sometimes when I have like mixed feelings about books, I wonder if I would feel different if I read it, or if I read it, listen to it. So this might be one that I will go back and read the physical copy, but I did feel like, it was kind of slow at some times. So the pacing threw me off. I don't know why. I felt like I should have cared, but I did not care for the romance at all. And I don't know why. Maybe it was just because like there was a little bit of, I felt like Jordan was like maybe a little bit of a stereotypical character, and that's not to say like you can't have stereotypical or like kind of tropes and stuff like that in books, but I don't know why I just couldn't like get attached to him. And maybe that's why I didn't really care for it. But like at first, like right when they first met and stuff like that, like, she kind of was like describing him like sitting, just kind of gazing off, and she mentioned he looked beautiful, and I was like, I'm like, I'm not like.
Well, and maybe that's why like the people that I saw like writing a review saying that like he didn't really have any personality, because whenever like they were together, he was just being her mentor, and like he didn't have like maybe JL didn't show enough of him being himself. It was all about the house and the order, and I understand that's what he was like trained as a dragoon, but still like I don't know.
And like I think she intended him to be that type of character, but maybe just didn't connect with certain readers. And then I didn't see the Bridgerton and Fourth Wing comps. I saw the Harry Potter and Legendborn comps. And so I had just really big expectations. I can't remember where I saw those comp titles. It's either on Goodreads or maybe just other reviews, like Kirkus review saying fans of Legendborn would love. And I just felt like, I think for me, just on the overall level, because like, let's get this straight. Like JL is a strong writer. The writing is good. The description's good. Like that's not a question. But I think for me, it was just just kind of like the overall piece of it. I felt like it didn't really know what it wanted to be. And so I think a lot of it was like, I did go in there with high expectations, and I did feel like I was a little bit disappointed. But then when I was like thinking back on it, when I was looking at my notes, I'm like, I don't really know what it should be like. I just feel like it just wasn't what I was expecting it to be like. I don't know. And maybe it's just that it didn't evoke those same feelings that Legendborn did for me, or, whatever. But maybe part of it was that there were so many comparisons that it just felt like it was like, it's like this and like this and like this. And I'm like, I just want it to be itself. Like there's nothing wrong with having comp titles, but it almost did it a disservice.
Yeah. Can you hear me still? Okay. Sorry. Just making
I
sure.
can hear you, but you're frozen.
Yeah, I wrote that I was frozen.
Yeah, you're
I'm
frozen.
like, I don't know why I'm frozen, but anyways, I'm still here. At least I don't have a crazy face on. Thank God.
All of us right behind you. Frozen.
Just like, woo, I'm speaking from the void, you know. But I understand why she has to have comps. They're important in marketing and book promo, and that's what gets a lot of people to get a quick snapshot of what your book is about and make them interested for it to sell. And a lot of, like, you know, my indie author friends have found more success by comparing their books, like Hunger Games with Faye and things like that, you know. So I totally understand that, but I think the big thing coming from it is that they need to say what about those comp titles they're comparing it to, so that people aren't being misconstrued by it. Like, be like the classes to hone your magic, you know, or the school environment of it, you know, specific things about it, because otherwise then people are going to go into it with the wrong expectations, and it feels like you're just throwing everything into the pot.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But yeah, I'm kind of hovering at like a 3.5, so I don't know if I'm gonna bump it up to the 4 or bump it to the 3, which is still good. I still finished the book, you know, and everything like that. It's not like a DNF or anything like that, but I think this one for me, I feel like was very like individual for me. And I don't know why. Maybe it's like I just wasn't in the mood for it at this point. I don't know, but I wanted to like it, like love it, you know, and I feel like I just like it.
I'm gonna leave and then come back and see if that fixed me. If not, I'll just stop the camera. You guys keep going. I'll be back.
Well, I agree with Vanessa and Heather. I didn't like the romance part of it. I didn't really care for that. I mean, it's not that I went into it expecting a lot more too, and didn't. There were some characters that I don't know why they were even in there, and Yagrin's, I think his name is. I could have did without his chapters too. So I'm with you with that, Vanessa. Now, as far as Jordan, I went into this as Jordan being, and actually Yagrin too, being assassins, because they were supposed to go and kill the people with the Tucson. So I looked at it as assassins are just fat characters because they're not supposed to feel and they're not supposed to fall for anybody. So that's how I looked at Jordan and the Yagrin guy. But I just was expecting a lot more too, and especially the ending. I just was like, okay, we get this last chapter and that's how we're going. All right, we're just going to go with that. I thought it was going to be a little bit more.
I totally want to hear your thoughts. Oh gosh, you
be a little more epic. You got to finish it, Alicia, because I can't wait to hear what you say when you get to the end of this book. But to me, I just thought it was going to be a little bit more. I thought it was just going to be a little bit more epic going into the ending. And when I got to I think it was part 4, I was like really bored at that point. I'm sorry, JL, I hate to say that. But once I got to part 4, I was kind of bored with it, and I did put it aside because I didn't listen. I didn't listen to the audiobook. I just read the physical copy. Because I was just like over them going back and forth with each other. Yeah, I like you. No, I don't like you. Yeah, I'm going to do what my grandma is. And then another thing is that she like separated from her mom, but then her mom never comes back again, except her sending these letters that apparently her grandmother might not have been sending, but she never comes up again, which I thought they were going to kind of, when she got to the house and everything started happening, since she was only planning to be there for a little bit and then leave, I just thought that her mom was going to show up, and there was going to be this thing with her, the grandma, and the mom, and she was going to be in the middle, and it was just going to do something else. But that never happened, so I was kind of bummed about that. But it was okay. I haven't rated it yet, but I'm leaning more toward maybe a 3, 3.5, because I did like the descriptions. I did like the courses that they had to go through to, evolve or whatever. I did like that part of the school, and I did like the grandma. I hate to say it, and I think it's because she was just evil.
I knew it.
She was.
I didn't trust that bitch from the second she came on screen. Okay.
Oh yeah, well
I like her because she was just this strong woman that was like, it's gonna be my way or no way, and then she was doing a lot of unhanded things, and I'm like, okay, she's treacherous.
I knew it.
I did like her character. All of the characters in the book, I like the grandma. And then the other character was the Beulah of the other house.
Pearl, yeah.
And my other point is, the houses. I know this was mainly about the house of Marionne or whatever, but I thought there was going to be a little bit more ingested about the other houses. So I'm hoping she's doing other books that pertain to the houses, so you get to know a little bit. I know she put the descriptions in the back or whatever, but I wanted more interjection with the houses, the dragon,
there was
and the
so
House of Pearl.
Yeah, that she was trying to set up that she couldn't
she couldn't put it all in.
Can't resolve, so I feel like hopefully.
And there's some things that, hopefully more things will be resolved with the other houses.
So I'll just make 2 last comments and then I'll pop off so you guys can talk more in-depth spoilers, okay? So that formatting comment that I liked, or that I wanted to point out, was in the physical copy, as you go through the different parts, there is a gradation of how much black is on the page, which I'm guessing is an equivalent of the way that the sphere is devolving. Right? Yeah, because by the time you get to the appendix, it's totally black.
Totally black.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
And
see, I was thinking that too.
So I figured that had to be a relation to that, because of that. And I thought it was a really nice formatting touch. I thought it was such a nice formatting touch, actually, that as you start learning about the sphere, as you learn about the crack in the sphere, that is really close to part 2. And you see the gradient start moving further from right to left across the page, which I stopped what I was doing. And I said to my boyfriend, I was like, wait, I want to show you this. And so I gave him just a little bit of context. I said, hey, listen, they've got this sphere. It's the source of all of their magic, but there's a crack in it. And it's there's dark magic starting to come from it. It was supposed to be filled with sun magic, whatever, right? But look, it's getting darker. And and then I was and as we get to the end of the book, it's fully black, basically. But the appendix has just a little bit. So I thought that was a really nice formatting touch. And I don't know if JL was involved in making that decision or if she was closely working with her editors or what, but I thought that was a really nice visual representation of the sphere itself blackening without them saying that to us. And then I just had a quote that I really liked that I wanted to make sure I pointed out because it paired so nicely with the description or with the dedication in the front of the book. And the I also need to interrupt myself here and tell you I'm making homemade bread right now, and I just caught a whiff of it. Oh God, I'm so excited about it.
Janine, I don't want you to think I want to go back and talk about your comments, Janine, so don't think I'm missing them. Yeah. But I did want to say Janine says, I think she's involved in the choice with the gradients based on her comments on Instagram.
Okay.
So
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
and it's
That's
supposed to be a trilogy, which is super exciting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hopefully
Awesome.
get more.
Awesome. This quote though on page, well, let me read the dedication first, because that's why I like highlighted that one so much. For the first of their name, heiress of nothing, the different and the wandering. Right? That's the dedication. And then on page 145 in the physical copy, second to last paragraph at the end, despite the events of the night, the stranger who stares back at me holds her shoulders squarely. Her chin doesn't point to the floor as it usually does. I look away. She's a liar, a cheater, disguised as someone deserving. And that was like one of those ornate daggers of magic right to my heart. Like, oh no, baby, like you're deserving because of who you are, not what you can do. Right. And like that's the message of all of it, like so far for me. Like no, like if that's why JL wrote the story, was to remind people that you're deserving of your life and your safety and your peace and your self, right? I can get behind that. Even if it's a slow story, even if we expected something more, if that's the story she had to write to give somebody that sense of validation and representation of the like searching for home, of the fact of not really knowing where you belong, of not knowing who you can trust, of being afraid of what's inside of you. If that's why she wrote this book, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but if one other person can take that from this book, then good on her.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like there is a good message, and I like the arc that Kel has to go through.
Yeah. So those were just kind of my thoughts so far, but I will definitely finish up and hop on the comments after, and the Goodreads and all of that good stuff. And I'm really happy I got to see you all for a little bit.
Yeah, we're always like, oh my gosh, we want to know what Alicia thinks about this book, so we value your opinion so much.
Thank you, and thank you for the graces, as I'm in a little bit of a season of transition right now. So
for sure.
We will chat more, and I will hop off here so you ladies can discuss some more in-depth spoilers if you'd like. And I just love you all, and I appreciate you, and I will see you hopefully for next month when we're in Nano.
Love you.
Love you, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I did not catch that gradient thing. Okay, Janine. It felt kind of blah about the romance. It's been done, with the new girl being told everything by the brooding mentor, and just the idea that she's somewhat dependent on him. Very, very true. Please share this entire rewrite summary on Discord. I would really like to read that. To see like what you would change and how. I was gonna say I love their friendship. I'm glad that Kel had someone, especially in the end, that she needed someone to rely on, like when everything went down, like, hey, you need to go to what's his name? Actos. So hopefully we'll get more of that in the sequel, I guess. Yeah. Wow, we look so big now. I don't know if it's just me, but maybe I'm just sort of done with a lot of romantasy. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's totally fair. And I know a lot of people are like, I hate that. I hate the term romantasy, like just say romantic fantasy.
Yeah. See.
I know from JL's Instagram, she said, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Janine, but I believe she said she wrote this during the pandemic. Maybe not, but I thought she wrote this during the pandemic or something, and it was like the book, or at least when she wrote it, she was just like, I just want to write what I want to write, and I'm writing it for me, kind of thing. Like the things that I like. So it's hard because it's like people know the enemies to lovers is big, and so it's just like, you know, people can't help but use tropes. That's why they're tropes, but can they be spun in a kind of different way? Like so when I was never suspicious of Jordan until he tethered her with the tracer. And then I was like, oh, well then he's going to know, like he's going to know when something's going on. And that just lit a switch in me of like, maybe he's not going to be on her side. But up until then, I was like, just the brooding love interest, whatever. They're along the way, all of that. So then when he turned out to just be like, hey, you want me to kill, I'll do my duty. I know what you want me to do. And Grandma's like, no. And I was like, what, dude? And then at the end being like, I love you. And I'm like, back off, bitch. Like, just like, hey, like, hold up. Like, you were the one who was ready to kill her. And now you're telling her you love her. Like, But yeah. So that's what surprised me, is like such a quick betrayal, where like there wasn't even any hesitancy, at least that we could see, of him being like, oh, maybe like I love her, but like my duty. But he was just like, nope, taking her, and he's like, you want me to do it? Whereas the grandma was someone who I expected. I was just like, she's not giving the letters. She's gaslighting, being like, oh, well, you're going to do this, right? And like, I like had all these lines where I was just like, you are just like guilting her and keeping her trapped there, even though the mom was sending the letters, quote unquote, telling her to stay, that it was safe there. Like, I still didn't.
And it wasn't.
Yeah, that was really confusing.
The grandma was treacherous.
I kind of wish the grandma was the mentor, not Jordan. Oh.
Yeah, I felt like the reveal of like the grandmother like being the one to have killed Noor, like kind of when she like found out like, oh, okay, all the debutantes
also killed Noor.
Yeah, and I was like, but that part, like, it's, to me it felt like it was supposed to be this like big thing, and I'm like, it's not surprising like to anybody. It shouldn't be surprising to anybody.
Nope.
But I like to be surprised, and I normally don't predict anything, but I like it when I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. And so that disappointed me, because I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, at least she did spin things with like, okay, Headmistress Pearl, we thought she was the one who was trying to figure out if Kel had Toshana so that she could like kill her, but it sounds like really she was trying to figure out if she had the Toshana so that she could protect her. So that was she kind of had her twists in different places.
Yeah. I think that's
off.
Oh, is that?
And
you're kind of breaking up there, T.
She could. That part threw me off. Blue told her that if she did a safe place, she could come to her. She would help her. That part threw me off because I wasn't in that.
Oh, now you're frozen, T.
Yeah.
Our computers are just like, you'll be next.
My internet's been acting crazy.
Oh.
Am I still frozen?
You unfroze and then froze again.
Okay. Let me leave.
Yeah, you're breaking up and I can't hear you at all.
Yeah.
No. Maybe she's gonna try to reconnect. Like mine, it worked.
Yeah. I was gonna say that was there were a few things that surprised me in this. Jordan's betrayal, I saw it coming from the moment he came on the page. I was like, this guy is all about duty. Yeah, he's gonna. It doesn't matter how close they're getting. He's gonna betray her. That's for me. I expected his betrayal. What I didn't really expect or see coming was the grandma having to Shauna herself, and then also the other headmistress from House of Pearl trying to help her instead of trying to kill Quell. So that I wasn't expecting. And then, of course, the very end with Yagran being Octus and him sending the letters and doing all the stuff.
And being Jordan's brother.
Yeah. So his character reveal, like I said, that one I did not see coming, but at the same time, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel like a, oh my gosh moment. It was just, for me, like a, okay.
I think because like he was just still so detached from, is it Kel or Quell?
Kel.
Okay, Kel. Okay, I just want to make sure because it's Raquel. Okay, because the whole time I was like, I hope I'm saying her name right in my head because this is what I'm going to say. Like he was so detached from Kel the whole time, and then like it's like, oh my god, he pretended to be like he's the what is it? Oh my god, anatomer, and pretending to be he had pretended to be the mom and sending the letters. Like, okay, but like they're just their paths didn't cross enough for me to like care. And whenever his chat, I was just like, can we just go to the other chapters? And with Red, and I was like, who's this dragon? I don't care, like whatever. So but I think maybe with like the grandma being the mentor, or like the reason why like Jordan's the mentor, not the grandma, like it was kind of the same thing. There needed to be some distance, so there could be stuff working behind the scenes. And so it seems like with that and with Yagran, it's like there's just a lot of setup for book 2, which is fine. But I think there was like a lot of that. And then it's like, the mom didn't come back. And like, I'm sure she is going to come back in book 2. But it's like, we kind of wanted all of this stuff now. And there wasn't as much wrapped up as we were expecting.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what it is.
Also, I don't know if you guys were. I was gonna ask in the chat, and I didn't get around to it. But I was gonna ask if any of you guys were confused on how the magic worked in this world, because that was another thing that I was like, I don't quite get the magic here. Like the Tashana, how do they know? Like, does it show? Like, I know it's a destructive power, so obviously, if you're using it for destruction, people are gonna know. But I'm just wondering, like, because there were times when it seemed like she was saying they're gonna. Oh, they know, or they sense it somehow or whatever. And I was just confused at, like, is there something about the Tashana that, like, gives off this distinct signal or something that someone has it or is using it? So that I didn't quite get. Also, the diadem and the mask things, I didn't quite get that as well.
I think like I was really confused by the Toshana from the very beginning, and I like noted this paragraph on page 329 of the 400 pages that I'm like, could we have gotten this sooner? Because this probably would have like clarified things a little bit more. I'm like, this is a very clear description. I mean, it doesn't say like how they get the Toshana and stuff, but it's like, there's a reason dragoons only really socialize amongst themselves. It's easy to lose yourself in all of it. The power, the proximity to forbidden magic. Toshana is different because it feeds off of a person to grow stronger, poisoning their ability to reach their real magic. Part of the reason the order is so adamant about hunting people with Toshana is that the bounds of its power are unknown. It's not clear when it stops growing. But once it takes a person over completely, the person is no longer in control. The Toshana is. And so I was just like, what? Why did we get this 329 pages in? Like, this would have been nice to have instead of me kind of like being confused along the way of like, why? I mean, and she kind of showed it with her trying to use her magic, but then the Toshana would come. And so then she's trying to like dampen it. But it still was just like this more of a ethereal thing for a while where it was like, well, why is this so bad? And then saying, oh, its power's unknown. It controls the person. They don't know how much it goes. And so it's like just being a little more clear, I think, would make the stakes and things. Yeah.
Like I get that. That paragraph for me still didn't clear things up because I got from the beginning that the Toshana was seen as bad because, you know, it was this destructive force and stuff. I didn't know the extent of how bad until, you know, we get more into it later on. But my thing is, my question was, like, how do they know unless the person is actively using Toshana at the moment? How do they know who has it, who doesn't? Like, is there something that the Toshana gives off to signal that this person has it or not? Because it didn't. There were times when it seems like there would be something it gives off, but then at other times it didn't. So I just wasn't sure, like.
And I don't think Jordan knew. Jordan wouldn't have known she had it until he like tethered himself to her. I think that's the only reason why.
And then she like out. The grandma was like, "Oh, I tested you. You didn't have it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
you
catch like how they were tested? Like
it was something. With
she did the blood. It's the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, something with the blood. So that's why she pokes them, their finger or whatever, and there's something with their blood that tests it. Yeah.
Okay.
But what I didn't understand about the Tucson was, if it's this dark magic, it's like when they touch something, when their Tucson is coming out, it like turns it to ash, but it's always cold. She was like saying that she was cold when the Tucson came out, but then she would touch something and she would turn to ash. I would think that would be more of a heat than them becoming very, very cold. Because from cold, I wouldn't think you would touch something and it would turn to ash. I would think that it would be the heat that would, like, them touching something would turn to the ash. So that confused me too. Because it was like they kept saying their bones and stuff would go cold when the Tucson would come out. So that was confusing to me too about the magic.
And it was the heat. When she focused on the heat and the warmness, that's when she could bring out the other magic in her.
Yeah.
And hide the Toshana more.
Yeah. Which that was kind of confusing to me. I would think it would be the other way around.
Yeah, no, that with the ash and cold, that's kind of
I think it would be opposite. Yeah. So there was some confusing things in here.
Now Janine said, I think the ending was great. I know Wait, did you both say you didn't care for the ending? I couldn't remember.
I didn't care for the ending. I mean, it was a great cliffhanger setup for like maybe going into the next book, but it was just flat for me.
Yeah.
I think it was done. I liked that there was more with like the grandma doing the reverse tracer, where like now she kind of has this like army that she can call upon to like influence and use their power. So it kind of has these like bigger stakes. So and so then, you know, Cal being like, oh yeah, I'll do the third right, knowing she was gonna, you know, call upon the Toshana. So then she wouldn't be, you know, bound to the house. So I did like that part.
I want to know how that's going to affect Abby.
Yeah.
Because Abby's tethered to the house now. So I want to know how that's going to affect Abby now that Quill didn't tether to the house.
And Jordan, Jordan's tethered to Yagran, and Jordan's tethered to Cal. So it's like he's kind of got like both sides that he can.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, one of my predictions is that the grandma will probably find out about, you know, how close Abby and Quill are, and she'll try to use that and use Abby to spy on her.
No.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes, I think that's going to happen. I'm with you, Vanessa.
Oh.
I think Abby's going to be the bait, I think. And she's going to use her to get. And then it's like wherever she goes, since she's tethered to Jordan, he's going to know where she's at. Especially if she evokes any type of emotion.
Yeah, because even when like she was planning stuff for the cotillion, and he's like, oh, what are you, something's up, and she's like, no, everything's fine. And she's like, even when like she wasn't in any danger or something, but even when she was just kind of planning stuff, like plotting, he was already feeling that. So
if I will say, if she ends up back with Jordan, I am gonna want to smack her.
Yes, I'm with you on that one. I think she should just let that go.
Yeah.
You know, I'm worried because I'm like, you know, it's not like there's this other potential love interest, you know, because we see that like, okay, it was heavy on this like kind of romance subplot. I'm just worried that will happen because.
Well, I can see, actually, my thing is I can see her and Octus Yagran or whatever.
Yagran.
I can see them becoming closer and having a romance between them two.
Yes, and I got that from that last chapter when he was talking about her. I'm like, okay, I think there'll be something there to where he's going to want to protect her too, and it's going to cause conflict between the brothers. Yeah, I think that's gonna come out eventually at some point. And the grandmother doesn't know that she tethered herself to Jordan.
That's true. So he does have that kind of to keep hidden.
And hopefully she doesn't find out.
There was a lot, like I think with a lot of the things that maybe could have been done better, like I still did enjoy the story and I wanted to know what was going to happen. So I think that's why I'm rating it like my low 4, because I still like there's some books we've read where I'm like, I don't care about the sequel. I don't want to know what's going to happen. And I do like Jael's writing. She had some very beautiful lines. Like, I love her prose, her descriptions. Just maybe some of like the craft of it could have been, honed. She could have honed her dagger a little better in this sense.
I think part of this is that, this book, like so many YA books, have succumbed to the unfortunate, we need a romance in here, so let's put a romance. And then it takes over the story, and it's like, I did not come here for the romance. I came for the fantasy and the action and the magic. I don't
and the
care.
magic. Yes, that's true. That's true. Another thing is when Jordan would go to this forest to, I guess, let his Tucson go, and she followed him and found it. I'm like, you mean to tell me that there is nobody on this property or at this school that has not seen this ash burnt down forest? They the only two that know about it. I'm like, really?
I was upset when she first went and followed him because she had been growing and learning to dampen the Tashana, like honing her magic, strengthening that. And then she sees him use it and she's like, oh yeah, I can use it here. And then I'll stop when it's the cotillion. And I'm like, girl, you strengthen what you use. I was like, this is the whole reason why you're not using it. So I was
not supposed to be used
at that point.
Yes.
Wasn't this at the point where she realized that it works differently for Tashana, and just because you strengthen your other magic, it doesn't weaken the Tashana. If anything, she was strengthening her Tashana.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
See, that's how I took it. Yeah, because I come down to where it won't come out as much when I'm in other situations. But I think she was doing that to feed it, but it was still making it stronger too as she was doing that. But
she was saying, like, trying to scratch the itch, she's it's like you're drinking when you're thirsty, kind of.
Yeah. But did you guys pick up on Shelby? Did you guys pick up on Shelby and Felix?
No, I did not.
I think Graham took it as Graham and Shelby. And then when Quail came, the grandma just kind of forgot all about her. So, because in some of the chapters, she was saying how Shelby was giving her the mean looks, and I was like, okay, I thought Shelby was going to try to do something to her to get rid of her, so that she could still be the grandmother's little protege or whatever.
Oh.
Because they did meet in the forest and they were talking about it, and they don't know that she heard them. So I'm like, oh, so she was trying to probably going to set her up to get rid of her so that she could be under the grandmother's wing again.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah, because I was like, who really did send Yagran after her to kill her? Because I'm assuming he was the one that was trying to find her and her mom.
Yeah. What do you think? Because now the grandma technically doesn't have an heir. Like, do you think that she's going to try to get Shelby back, or find someone else, or just try to get Kel back? I don't know.
I don't know if she's going to have her granddaughter back. Maybe just to make a point. But at this point, I think it's a little too late.
It is.
I think it's a little too late to have Quail back. So she might, Shelby would be the next runner-up. She had already been grooming her, so. But you would want an heir to be, take over for you. But at this point, Quail, I guess she's like, I don't want this.
Right.
So I guess she's basically told her that she doesn't want it. So I can't wait to see what the grandmother does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so of course I would have to read the next book because there's things in here that have not been, finished. It's not that I didn't like the book. I did like it because I like JL's writing too.
Right.
Like you said, the descriptions. I was really into the descriptions in this book. And there was some points that had me antsy. But then when the reveal happened, it was kind of flat for me. But
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to finish the trilogy because I do want to know what happens. We all come back and have to take. Is that going to be the epic battle that we get? The epic part that we were looking for?
I think she's setting things up to be pretty epic. So,
or is Quill and Yagran going to combine together, like come as one force and have to take down Jordan and the grandma? And I'm sorry, I just want a battle. I'm just waiting for the battle.
Well, I am waiting to see how some of these other houses are going to come into play. Because, I mean, we're talking about House of Marion and House of Pro, but there are other houses too. And I'm thinking the big epic battle is going to be between all the houses.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, because somebody can take over for House of Marionne now. Because she doesn't have an heir to take over for her. So they might be able to knock her off her pedestal now.
And they had said at the beginning, if the sphere is broken, then all of the headmistresses are to blame, and you can, and they were like, you can cut them off. So if she gets killed, then there's no, they'll need someone to step up.
But doesn't it take the magic too? If the spear breaks open, doesn't it take all magic away?
I think that's what they said. There would be no more magic
for like a really long time. Oh man, so
yeah, so that might. So I'm saying it might. I mean, there was stuff at the end that he was trying to break it, but it didn't happen. But so maybe something.
Yeah.
Maybe Quill. Maybe she's the catalyst to breaking the spear to get rid of the magic.
I forget, but did it say how the spear got cracked? I can't remember how it started.
When Quill first got her diadem and it came out black, I think it cracked the end, but then she went to Octos to get him to help her cover it up. I think is her. I guess she was evolving or something, and her diadem started coming, and it was black. I think happened because then the grandmother called that whole meeting thing and was like telling them about the spear. I think he did it when her she went to Octos to get him to help her cover it up.
Yeah, I think it was like that. The Toshana is what cracks the sphere.
Yeah, when it cracked it.
Using the Toshana.
And it had her diadem came out, yeah. And that's why she went to him to get it to cover.
So you agree? Yeah, so she had given the sphere to Octos, but really that was Yagran. So Yagran has, I don't know where exactly they are. But that he has it somewhere.
Yeah. Now I didn't get where I'm like Janine. I didn't get where he took it or where it was.
Yeah.
I just know that they say that it cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good enough for book 2. Well, hopefully have a little more positive things to say about it by, from having a little more answers. Hopefully a little more action. Actions and answers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so this was our September Book of the Month discussion. Very juicy as always.
Yes.
So please join us for our October Book of the Month. I have the audiobook of it, which is There's No Way I Die First. Yes, by Lisa Springer.
Hey.
The tag is Tag You're It. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. I hope they don't focus on the romance.
I hope it's not. I hope it's just scariness going on.
Yeah, that's we all need that.
Especially with horror. Like, I hate when I get a horror and then it's overtaken by the romance, and I'm like,
romance.
I came for horror.
It's hard to pull off like romance with horror because it's I feel like that too. I'm like, why are you thinking about how hot this person is? Like, try not to die, like, or like there's a ghost here. Why are you looking at this person saying they're hot? I'm just like, come on. I could see, maybe a little bit of things, but it's got to be like the minorest of subplots.
Minor, yeah. But hopefully this is going to be a good horror book.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. So
fingers crossed.
All right, guys. So join us on Goodreads and on Discord. Links are down below to chat about both this book and all the other books we've read, or any other books by BIPOC authors that you're interested in. Give book recommendations for future polls. November, we always read a shorter book or like a short story collection. So put in your recs if you have any good ones. So thanks everyone, and we will see you next month. Bye.
Bye.